I've built a network with purpose. It's not always about investing in property. It's about creating cash flow. It's about starting businesses. It's about feeding families. It's about living your why, living your purpose.
Standing here today feels like a full circle moment, a moment that honors not just an award I received, but a journey that reshaped my life, my leadership, and my vision of impact.
I don't think that there is a single one event which captures the imagination of an investor like an event like this.
I want to see people gain confidence and actually be able to invest in properties and really gain a meaningful impact in their lives and be able with confidence to come out and invest and get more involved in the economy and create opportunities for themselves.
We're so honored. It's such a privilege for us to continue our partnership that we have with SAPN. We are so proud to be able to see some of the achievements that we have had tonight.
Today was so impactful for me as we launched because we saw different levels of winners from the previous Investor of the Year, from beginners, from newcomers, from youth up to big leagues. For me, it's an inspiration to those that were fearful in entering Investor of the Year.
I want to encourage everybody to enter for the 2026 Investor of the Year and just see how your story can be told to the rest of South Africa.
It is phenomenal. The stories that we hear today, and it's so inspiring that this platform helps entrepreneurs to leapfrog into new opportunities.
I encourage you to really come in and invest and really enter into Investor of the Year because it can really change your life. Just go ahead, take the plunge and get in and register.
The stories of the winners has been awesome. It's inspiring, and that's exactly what SAPN is about. We are very proud to be associated with SAPN as a company, and we look forward to many, many more collaborations moving forward.
Since my journey with SAPN, I've been on a growth path. I have met a lot of people who are also willing to invest in my deals. I have had doors open for me, more opportunities, and I just love being a part of the SAPN community.
It was fantastic to listen to the amazing stories that these category winners and contestants shared with all of us. So this is a fantastic journey.
We are so looking forward to 2026 Investor of the Year. We want to see who's going to take away all the prizes and who's going to be the main champion. So please get your entries ready and submit.
Guys, what an evening here at Villa Bianca, the launch of 2026 Investor of the Year. We have partners, sponsors, previous entrants, even future entrants entering. This is such a great initiative for all South Africans in the property space. So I urge you, take that next step into Investor of the Year, build your profile, because remember, credibility meets opportunity. It's not always who you know, it's who knows you.
Where credibility meets opportunity. A lovely good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome to more Investor of the Year Thursday, where we are going to be going through round one judging, ladies and gents, and there's going to be 3 contestants that will be going through the presentation shortly as well. And while I get my presentation up, I see there are a few of you that are joining us on our YouTube page as well as our Facebook page. Let us know where you are watching us from and who's been your favorite contestant. I mean, now that we're all going all systems go towards the 19th of September. We are about to close off. I want to know who you've enjoyed the most in round number 1 judging. I will talk of round 2 and the calendar and where we are going to be the next couple of weeks, because we are literally closing for Investor of the Year and going towards the final evening where we will crown the overall winner. But you as contestants, ladies and gents, or attendees, get to play a part in voting who actually becomes the overall winner. A little bit about myself. For those of you that have not been joining us each and every single Wednesday and Thursday, my name is Daniel Kazadi. I'm a property investor and property developer on my day-to-day. But however, ladies and gents, for this Investor of the Year season, I've been tasked to be one of the judges to help guide investors through round number 1 and round number 2 as well. For those of you that do not know or have heard of the Investor of the Year competition, this is the 5th edition we run the competition. We started in the year 2018 where we had Mr. Robin Boothwell, who was the overall winner with a phenomenal and amazing Airbnb deal down in Cape Town. We then had the competition the year later, 2019, we had Mr. Dana Bonsai win it from PE with a student accommodation opportunity. In 2021, ladies and gents, 2 years afterwards, we had one of the most inspirational figures in the property sector, none other than Mr. Darren Francis, who was the overall winner. 2024 was historic on multiple fronts, and why it was extremely historic is we had our first female winner, Mrs. Patricia Chitema. And as we are going towards the 19th of September, it is your opportunity to be the Investor of the Year or play a part in the competition by voting and attending on the evening, which I will talk about a bit later on. And for this year, ladies and gents, there's three main categories. We will be having the beginner category, the intermediate category, as well as the big league category. We've done these categories to ensure that you are competing with investors that are in similar deal size, doing similar deals as you and similar deal sizes, and also similar level of experience. We do not want to create an unfair comparison where there's developers that are doing 100 million rand worth of opportunities competing with someone doing their very first buy to let. And then there's subcategories you'll see on your screens, and new categories like renovation under pressure, Tenants Rehab Award, Best Short-Term Deal Award, and the Best SAPIN Member of the Year as well on the evening. So ladies and gents, you can still join. Applications are closing the 31st of August. So you have 31st of July, sorry. So you have 2 more days, today and tomorrow. And then we are no longer taking any new applications for round 1 judging. Those of you that have applied, we will still be contacting you to do more in-person round 1 judging next week. Next week, Thursday, we are going to be live in-person round 1 judging at the Buzz in Edenvale. But I'll talk about that a bit later on. And if you do want to enter, please scan the QR codes on your screen or visit our website at www.investoroftheyear.co.za. A special thank you to our headline sponsor and partner, ladies and gents, this year and this competition. Our headline partner and sponsor going around the country hearing investor stories is going to be Absa Bank. A special thank you to Absa. Thank you for believing in everything we are looking to do. And ladies and gents, please enter. We do want to hear your story, no matter where you are across the country. And if that doesn't motivate you, I'm glad to share that the overall winner for this year's competition will win a cash prize of 100,000 Rand in cash, the biggest in the Investor of the Year history, and you get a chance to potentially win it. A special thank you to all of our other partners and sponsors from BSA Law, TAL Africa, SAPIN, Prepaid, Absa Bank, Mustandi, Tough Capital, where we will potentially be having round 2 judging as well. And we'll talk about that shortly as well. Lightstone, Auction Inc., Zweshu, Business Partner, SA Host, and Framework Integrated Solutions. A special thank you to all of you for joining and believing in the vision. Ladies and gents, if you do win as well, you also get a weekend away at Bakubang Beach Lodge as well, valued at 10,000 Rand. However, if you are not going to be at contestants, I mean, a lot of you have been watching us each and every single Wednesday and Thursday. You can actually also join us in the evening on the 19th of September at the Maslow Hotel. Ladies and gents, tickets are selling out very, very quickly. We only have a limited amount available. Please scan the QR codes on your screen right now, or you can visit us at our website, www.investoroftheyear.co.za, to buy and book your tickets for the final evening. So that's enough of me, ladies and gents, and my talking. As I said, ladies and gents, the reason we are here this afternoon is for more round 1 judging, where we've got 3 investors that have entered various level of experience and deals they have done, and we are going to be hearing from them. So please do drop us a like to the video you are watching, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and get involved, ladies and gents. Please ask as many questions as possible using the chat below, and we will pose it to the investors as well. But I'd like to start off by welcoming and introducing some of our judges. We have 2 judges today. The first being Samukelo Ndlovu from @360 Finance. Sam, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again, Daniel.
always good having you. Sam, for those that do not know about Act 360 Finance, you want to very quickly tell us what it is that you help investors with?
100%. Welcome to all the contestants that are joining us today and everyone who is watching from home. It's an absolute pleasure to be here again. But just a quick introduction on myself. My name is Samgelo Ndlovu, and I do head up the property finance division of the SA Property Investors Network, which is Sapin Finance, and we partnered with at 360 Finance. And through that partnership, we're able to assist investors within the network secure finance for their property deals, whether it be your normal residential home loans, commercial asset finance, and so on. We are able to help you with any of the sorts. So if that is something that you do need assistance with, please feel free to reach out. But for the purposes of the next hour or so, I will be one of the judges, and I'm looking forward to meeting and hearing the stories of all the investors today. Thanks, Dan.
No, I appreciate that, Sam. I appreciate it. And then the next judge, ladies and gents, that will be complimenting Sam and myself is none other than Colette Swiggers. Colette, how are you doing?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me back again. It's always a pleasure to see the deals and what people actually can do with a little bit of initiative. Just a quick introduction. My name is Colette Swiggers. I am an attorney conveyancer and notary with Bruno Samau Attorneys, and have substantial experience in the property and finance industry. So it's very interesting to see, and to unpack the deals as we've done through the first round of Investor of the Year judging. So I'm really glad to be here and looking forward to see what the contestants have for us today.
And there's no other better dance partners I would want to go through this presentation with. Ladies and gents, without further delay, I'd like to bring forth the first investor that will be presenting. As I stated, each investor, ladies and gents, are given about 15 minutes to go through the presentation. And after the 15 minutes is done, that's when me, Colette, and Sam will come and pose any other questions. The first one is going to be Spelele Zuma. Mr. Spelele, how are you doing, sir?
How are you doing? Good greetings, everyone, the judges. How are you doing?
Bless, my brother.
Welcome.
Listen, so my brother, you're given 15 minutes to go through your presentation. When you need me to go to the next slide, you can just say next slide. And then we're going to ask questions and the likes. But over to you, my brother.
Okay, greetings, everyone. Hi, my name is Pelele Zuma. I'm from Pietermaritzburg, KwaZulu-Natal. Basically, my deal, how I got my deal is that I've applied for FLISP, which is first time home finance. And I've also applied for a bond through SA Home Loan. But my story goes like this, because I work as a security guard. So getting a property for me was a far-fetched thing. So then I've done some research, and then that's how I got to apply for the finance of the property. And then from there, I moved on and applied for the first time home finance through FLISP. So as I said, the deal goes like this. It's a buy-to-let flat. So it's a one-bedroom apartment that I bought in Pietermaritzburg, West Haven. That's how I found the deal. So I went through Property 24, and I got the apartment. I liked the apartment. I went there for viewing. I booked the viewing, and then I met up with the estate agent. After meeting up with the estate agent, I saw it to be a good deal because it was in a city center, and also it was near campuses like Umsunduzi campus. Yeah. You can move to the next slide. Thank you. So this is a deal overview. This is before. The first picture is when I was going for a viewing. And upon the viewing, I found out that the flat was well positioned. It was on the city center. And I went through and I saw the flats. I inspected the flat, there were no leakages. Everything was on par. So I had to consult with my lawyers, and then during the bond. Okay, so the second picture is when I was purchasing the property now. So everything was done and complete. And the third picture, you can see it's me when I was finally the deal was completed. Thank you. These are the numbers. So the purchase price was 310,000. So through FLISP, I got 140,000, which is a first-time home finance subsidy from the government. So they gave me a deposit money, which was 60,000. Out of that 140,000, 60,000 was paid towards uh, the deposit. And for renovation cost, I only spent about 1,600 because I was fixing the toilet. The monthly rental fee that I get from there is 4,400. The valuation of the sale is 310. And the cash flow of profit is 1,500. We can proceed to the next slide. Thank you very much. I hope my story will inspire other people as to make it possible for them to buy a property, because there's a lot of opportunities in the property space and it is open for everybody. So I only spend roughly I spent 750 on the deal, the whole deal. When I was purchasing the property, but when I had the property, I had to do some minor renovation, which I spent 1,600. But in all together, the money that I've spent from this deal is 3,000. So I hope my story can inspire every South African that it is possible to own a property in South Africa. I'm a security guard. I went through the channels. I've done my research. I've partnered with the financial lender, and I've partnered with the government. So I will say collaboration is the new innovation. By collaborating with other people, do your research, and make sure that you educate yourself.
Jeez, absolutely inspiring. And before I get my team, I know Colette, Sam are budding with questions. I think it's important to not just go over it very quickly, Mrs. Pelele, just to emphasize what Mrs. Pelele said. So he managed as a security guard, sir, right? As a security guard.
Yes.
And I do want you to touch more on that because I think it is extremely inspiring. As a security guard, first job, you managed to buy a property using none of your own money, right? You used SA Home Loans for the financing, but also FLIS for first-time home buyers, right? For first-time home buyers, you bought a property that after all expenses gives you 1,500 Rand, and you spent 3,000 Rand of your own money to buy it. So I've got two questions for you, sir, on that. Number one, congratulations. Extremely beautiful to hear your story. And it's a message that no matter where you are or where you started, your salary is not a limiting factor. But my question to you, sir, is what's next? What are you trying to achieve in this property thing? And then maybe before you answer that, are you still a security guard? Do you still work 9 to 5 as a security guard? And what are you looking to do with this property thing? What's your ultimate vision?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Yes, as I'm wearing the uniform, I'm actually on lunch break. I am still a security guard. The ultimate goal is to grow my property portfolio, obviously. And also, by partnering with you guys, is for me to share my story so that I can inspire each and every South African, a person who's working on the streets, a person who's who's earning a minimum wage, so that it is possible.
He's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to open the floor to Colette. Sam, any questions for Spelele?
Hi. I just quickly want to say congratulations. The fact that you are using the FLISP subsidy to, to finance your properties is absolutely amazing. I just quickly want to check, you probably did this in your personal capacity because FLISP do not cater for companies. So just want to double check on that.
Yes, for me, fortunately or unfortunately, it was a lonely journey. I had to do everything on myself. I had to do the research. I had to go through the FLISP by myself and apply everything. And
And that's quite rigorous. It's a big application. I've seen it.
yes, yes. But also, where I've encountered problems, I used to talk with the estate agent because also while he was helping me with the deal, when I encountered some problem through my FLISP, I would consult with him, and then he was very open and willing to assist more. And
Yeah.
also the person who was handling the board, because the bond was already approved, so I was just waiting for FLISP to be approved.
So how long did it take you to get FLISP approved, by the way?
Uh, for me, it took because the first application didn't go through, so it took about roughly 2 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's not too bad. Just a quick question on my side before I, hand it over to Sam. Did you do any due diligence? Because I see this as a sectional title. Did you look at the uh, audited financial statements to see if the body corporate so the finances is solid? And did you look at, or did you get a copy of the body corporate rules and conduct?
With regards to that, I've only learned about because I remember I was doing it on my own. I've learned about that while I was when I already bought the property. So that's when I got to learn about the body corporates, and I've got to know about their finances, and then I've asked about their finances, how they are standing, where they are standing.
Yeah.
That's where I got to learn about the body corporates, and because it's a sectional title, as you say.
Okay. And then what is your levies and rates on this property?
The monthly levies and rates all combined, I will say it's 1,300.
Okay. And
Yes.
your bond installment?
My bond installment is 2,295.
Okay.
Which includes the insurance, the bond with the insurance of the bond. It's all costs counted. It's 2,300.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions, Sam?
Yes, I can come in here for a bit, but first of all, Spelele, congratulations on your deal. It's very amazing what you were able to put together. But your story just goes on to show the importance of education, because it can help you get to a different level. And then also another thing that we like to emphasize, Dan would know this, but property meets you where you are as well, and you were able to make it work for you. So firstly, congratulations on that. And then seeing that your cash flow is 1,500 rand with a absolutely beautiful return on investment because you only put such little of your own money. If for whatever reason buy to let doesn't work or anything of the sorts, do you have an alternative strategy that you might be able to pursue?
Uh, uh, okay, so in terms of the property, the strategy, yes,
Correct.
because it's okay because the flat is well placed. It's placed in a city center, and it's near government institutions and every other place of work. So if the strategy don't work right now, I will turn the flat into a student accommodation because now it's occupied by one tenant. Yes, I'll turn it into a student accommodation because it's just 5 minutes away from Kungunju FET College.
Okay.
Okay, I see. And then how
Okay.
many students would you be able to fit in?
Provided I can fit in 3 students there.
Okay. No, nice exit
Not
strategy.
bad.
But yeah, that would be it from my side. Again, my brother, congratulations on the deal here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
thank
think
you very
in
much.
closing, my brother, very, very well done. With these Investor of the Year judging, we also bring on actual property investors and power team members that can help you move forward. So I think one big risk, I would say, from your portfolio point of view is the fact that it's in your personal name. So from a tax point of view, estate planning point of view, access to finance point of view, and ease. It's not always advisable to have properties in your personal name. And what we'll do, my brother, I'll just talk to the team and Colette at BSA Law to see if we can't give you a consultation, to give you a free consultation to sort of help you get the perfect structure for you, whether it's your personal name, if you're continuing to buy in a company or in a trust. Because I think you've got the foundations to do so well. And it's absolutely inspiring that if your very first deal, I think your story needs to be heard to
Absolutely.
so many other South Africans. And I'm inspired hearing your story. Congratulations, my brother. Hey? Congratulations.
And thank you once again. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity. As I've said, collaboration is the new innovation. Me collaborating with you guys, telling my story, I hope it inspires someone else.
No, thank you so much. So, ladies and gents, that was none other than Spelele Zuma, who's joining us on his lunch break. Such an inspirational story. And that's the exact reason that we do this. I had a comment come in from Jerome, and I'll bring it up. I reckon it's fantastic that someone with limited salary can enter into the property sector. Congratulations, well done. So, ladies and gents, please join us next week when we are announcing who has made it to round number 2 to find out if Spelele has made it to round number 2 as well. And if you would like him to make it through, you can also drop a comment on our either Facebook or YouTube page to let us know that you are voting for him. So, ladies and gents, the next investor that will be going through, that will be given about, again, 15 minutes to go through the presentation, and then judges will come for questions, is none other than Miranda. Ma'am, can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear, Daniel.
Perfect. We can hear you. We can see you. So your time starts now, ma'am. So 15 minutes. And then we're going to go through judges' questions.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you, the judges, for giving me this opportunity. I'm so excited for taking you through my journey in property investment. As we said, my name is Miranda. I'm coming from Rustenburg, and the strategy that I'm using is refinancing my primary residence to unlock dormant equity using FlexiBond to recycle capital, acquiring income-producing properties, renovating them into high-yield multiple-let accommodation, and creating sustainable cash flow while maximizing tax efficiency. We often underestimate the power of what we already have in our hands. What started as my primary residence became a foundation of my business, a growing portfolio, and a legacy for growth for my future generation. So I normally listen to people saying your primary residence is not an asset, it's a liability because it's taking money out of you and you have to pay the bonds, you have to pay the rates and tax and so on. But today, I'm here to prove to you otherwise. My property, my primary residence has built me a portfolio of more than 25 million rand. So this is where my story began. Because I was so used to paying additional money in my FlexiBond for my primary residence, I have already accumulated more than 1 million in my flexibond. And in 2023, I decided to refinance my primary home residence and pulled out 1.5, and I went out to go and purchase a property for 2.5 million, which was already making 40,000 per month. I didn't have to do any renovation. The place was already tenanted. The beauty of this deal is that within 8 months, I managed to refinance this property and pulled out 1,870,000, which was readily available for me to grow my portfolio. Next slide, please. Can you go to the next slide? So I am a health and hygiene specialist. I'm working in the mining industry. I am in love with leverage. I am using leverage to buy property and convert them into multiple properties. And I'm using this strategy because property has a predictable cash flow, inflation protection, tax efficiency, and ability to create homes while I build long-term wealth. So on this property, because I was intentional when I bought this property, I bought the property in a business name. And the reason that I did that, and the reason that I used my refinance fund, I wanted to be a tax strategist. What I meant by that is because if you buy a property using debt to fund an income-producing asset, you are allowed to expense the interest that you are charged on that money. You can move to the next slide. Because on my bond, I was charged at 10% interest. I automatically, by buying this property in the business, automatically by using debt to buy this property, I could already reduce my taxable income with 150,000. The next tax strategy that benefited me was this. Because I bought this property because this property that I bought was a multiple let property, I could already benefit from the Section 13(6) of the Act because I was housing multiple families in this. By just doing that, taking into consideration that the house was, I bought the property for 2.5, I can put aside 500,000 for the land, and for the I could save also 5% of 2 million, which accounted to 100,000. So by just knowing the tax strategies that you can implement in the property games that I'm playing, I automatically saved 250,000 on that deal, which was readily available into my deal. Can you move to the next slide, please? Okay. The deal overview, obviously the property was a multiple let, and because of that, I used these two strategies to be able to make money out of this property. And the reason I got this property this cheap, it was because it was an agent sale that, and the owner wanted money, and at this time the property was already valued at 3.2. Can you move to the next slide, please? Daniel, can you move to the next slide? Okay, now let's talk about the numbers. Remember, I told you that I bought this property for 2.5 million. I used the deposit, I used my 1 million to deposit the property, and with the cost for conveyance and bond registration, I spent around 1.150. There was no renovation needed on this property, and the total cost for that deal was at 2,650. And the valuation that time, when I was buying the deal, they said the property was between 2.850 and 3.2. The next slide, please. Can you move to the next slide, Daniel?
Yes, ma'am. It's the next slide.
Daniel, I see you didn't update my presentation.
Yeah, so this was
Is it
property
possible to
number
use the
one.
presentation that I sent to you yesterday?
Yeah, so there's three.
One property. Is it possible to go to
Okay, which one, ma'am?
to the presentation that I sent yesterday? The one that I sent yesterday. Just display the
Okay, ma'am,
presentation
I
that I
will
sent
start
yesterday.
that share. If you can, okay, you can start talking on it, ma'am, but then I'll bring it up in 1 minute.
Okay. Okay. Because this property was already making 480, and because it requires rezoning in place, I could immediately refinance this property. And because I used the correct tax strategies, I could already save 250,000 out of this deal. Afterwards, when the money that was readily available after I removed those 2 months, I had to take out my rates and taxes, my insurance, and it left me with only 157,000, which was my taxable income. And I ended up paying only 42,000 for that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that my primary resident made this possible. My primary resident created a property portfolio, or created an income or a cash flow of 480. My primary residence enabled me to buy this property cash and be able to refinance it again within the period of 3 years and pull out 1,780,000. So if you look at the structure on the numbers for this property, the gross rental was at 480. I took out the vacancy rate at 3%, which was 14,400. The effective rental income was at 400, 465,600. And then the deduction that I had to take out is the interest attributable to rental property. Remember, I used my 1.5 from refinanced, so I could take the expense. I could expense my business for 150,000, and the tax savings attributable to Section 13(6) was 100,000, and for the rates and tax was 30,000, insurance 16,200, maintenance 12,000, and the total deduction amounted to 322,600. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide, please. And then if we look at I wanted to show you can you go back to the other slide? Sorry, you are too fast for me. And then obviously with the annual expense taken from that 480, my taxable income was at 157,400, and I was taxed for that year. I paid 42,498 with a net profit of 149,002, and then monthly profit was at 9,572, and the gross yield was standing as 19.2, and the net yield was standing at 14.3%. I also want to share with you the magic of pressure, the magic of using debt. In 2025, our smelters were not doing well, and our managers called us into the office and told us that we are closing our smelters, and because of that, we were going through Section 189. He told us that don't buy a new house, don't buy a new property, because you might end up losing your job at the end of December. So to me, as a property investor, what that said to me was saying, Miranda, you've got the power of your salary advice. How can you use this salary advice to make sure that you can create wealth through property investment to substitute your salary at the end of December? So what I did at that time, I went out into the market to look for properties to invest in. I bought 3 properties which were worth 3.5 million. And the reason I did that is because I had a target to say, by the end of December, I want to be able to make 250. That was going to substitute my salary advice. So again, remember I told you I got 1.780 for refinancing, and I was paying additional in my bond at the beginning of August. After the first property was conveyed, I had 2,500,000 available for me to invest to renovate these properties. So I didn't have to wait for the bank, or I didn't have to go and apply for another loan, but because of the power of my flexi bond in my primary residence, I could immediately access that money. I took that money, I renovated the first property, and I converted that property into 5 two-bedroom. The second property was converted into 10 one-bedroom apartment. And by December, those 2 properties were done, and I was left with 1 in Rustenburg. At that time, I could realize that I wouldn't have enough money to renovate the third property. I immediately refinanced one of my property, which was in my personal name, to pull the funds to renovate the third property. The second property, middle of January, they were rented out because the place, those places are closer to their in Potchefstroom, and I could rent it out because the students were coming back from home. And those two apartments were making me 80,000 per month already. And I finished renovating the last property in May, and I'm happy to say to you today, to report to you today, to say my property has been approved as a NSFAS accredited accommodation, which is gonna house 40 students. And because of that, then it means even though I was late to reach my target of 250, I am gonna be able to do that, because if I add the 80,000 and the around 150 that I'll be making out of the student accommodation, it shows that if you know how to use leverage, if you know how to use debt, you can achieve so much and under pressure. So this is only possible because of property investment. This is only possible because if you understand how to use leverage, of how to use debt, and how to use your flexibond, because my flexibond has been an instrument that I use to recycle money. When I put additional money there, it was saving me interest, but I had the opportunity to pull out that money if a good deal comes. So today, I'm standing in front of you and telling you that my primary residence is an asset, because at this moment, I am happy to tell you that within the period of 3 years, my primary residence has built a portfolio of 25 million in a business name within that within that 3 years period. So if somebody tells me that my primary residence is not an asset, I can prove them otherwise. And this is my journey. This is Miranda. I'm a serial property investor. Thank you.
Oh, what a beautiful, technical, enjoyable presentation. Congratulations, Mrs. Smeralda. I think I speak for everyone and I say it was extremely awesome hearing you speak. And like Smeralda says, your primary residence is and will always be an asset, right? So awesome, Smeralda. I think my question to you, obviously you use leverage very well, right? And there are some people that might hear this and they're looking to do the same with their existing portfolios. But obviously, once you are leveraging and pulling equity from your one property to another, putting pressure on that other property, pulling R1 million towards a multi-let, for instance, things might go wrong. It didn't go wrong in your case, maybe with the renovations not being needed and the likes. What measures did you put in place to ensure that if for whatever reason you pull equity from property number 1 to buy property number 2, but something happened or something went wrong in property number 2, like the multi-let I think you spoke of, what measures did you put in place to almost protect your entire portfolio from sinking? Because that's a big issue with bond-heavy like strategies, right? Or debt-heavy like strategies. That what happens if something goes wrong? What did you do as a layer of protection to ensure that everything was thought out and there was exits in place?
Okay. As I already told you, I am investing in multiple let properties, or if when I buy a property, I convert it to make sure that I diversify my risk. So we can make an example with this 40,000 property. Because remember, my bond, it was still paid by my salary. I was not taking any money from the business. And because of that, my salary could afford to pay that property. And the fact that it was already making 40,000, the need for me to have an exit strategy was not there because I have diversified my property. And again, remember, I will take 1.5 and I will buy something that makes 40,000 rent, a multiple let property. What is the chance of the 10 tenants not being able to pay their rent? It's minimized. So because of that, and because I knew I still have the financial power because I was working, I knew that I can handle the debt. And because I'm so good with money, I believe my money must work very hard for me. When I refinanced that property, remember, I took my 1.5, but I brought back 1.780. What did I do with that 1.780? I put it in my primary residence. It was saving me interest and it was accumulating. So the chance of me being forced to be under financial pressure was minimized because it's a multiple let unit. And afterwards, even the ones that I bought, an example, while I was buying these 3 properties that I was talking about, I got a call from one of the conveyance I attend. She said to me, Miranda, Absa has got a property that is 1.4, but they are selling it for 800,000 rent. You've got one condition, you need to evict the person who's staying in the house. Now imagine I took that same property, which I was gonna pay 9,000 per month. I converted it into 10 one-bedroom apartment. It was making 46,000 per month. What is the chance of this strategy failing? It's really minimized because I'm diversifying my portfolio. I'm diversifying my risk because it's multiple let. If two people are not paying their bond, I still have other properties that can
Okay, I'm not sure if Miranda's
take care
gone.
of that money. And for me, have taken life cover to make sure that if I can transfer the asset to my debt free. So because of that, I don't think I even need to have an exit strategy, and I've got numbers that can prove that. Remember, August, September, October, November, I was renovating. But because of how I know how to manage my money and how to use my credit card, I was able to handle those 3 additional bonds for that period because of diversification, because I was spreading my risk when I was buying the properties. So yeah, that's what I can say to you.
100%, eh? And diversification, ladies and gents, is also one form of an exit, eh, as well. And like Mrs. Miranda said, she didn't just go out and take debt. She stayed in her job. She mentioned that she still had the income from her job to service the bonds while also having other properties to also service. So I'm going to open the floor. Maybe one question each to my lovely co-judges on any questions. We're going to start with Sam first.
Right. No, Miranda, amazing story. Again, just literally showing the power of leverage as you were mentioning, and also just taking advantage of institutional finance, not using any of your own money, that's a brilliant story. But the one question that I have from you is that you seem to have thought about a lot of things and also provided the fact that you are NSFAS accredited and whatnot, did you take your zoning and your land use rights and town planning and the such into consideration when you were converting these multi-lets and making them fit for multiple tenants?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, remember the first property that I presented, that's the reason that I presented it. It was already rezoned. That is why I could immediately be able to refinance it. For the other properties, immediately when I sign an offer to purchase and it's accepted, I will submit the plans already to the municipality because we know as property investors, when you have to rezone, it can take 1 or 2 years. So build that rapport along. Sure, even though it takes time, you submit the plans, the plans have to go through the process, but you communicate with them, you allow them to come and inspect your place as you go through the process. And obviously, I am happy to say Absa was supporting me. I am also happy to say the municipality for Rustenburg is also supporting me because they know the benefit of having the first property registered as an NSFAS accredited property. And obviously, I had to write a motivation too. And as far as they were happy with what they were seeing, and they were happy with the process that I was going through. So obviously, I'm still in the process of rezoning, but I have built a relationship with the municipality, and through their support, they are empowering women like us. And obviously, it's going to take time for me to get the rezoning. I've written the motivation to NSFAS, and they approved it. And I will take them through the process of rezoning, because if one has to wait for rezoning, it can take 1 or 2 years without doing. So as you said, relationships are important. It's because of the relationships that I created with the municipal Potch and Rustenburg municipality, because those are the two municipalities that I'm investing in at this point. Because of that, I let them come in when I have the issue. They can even, I remember even this last property, I struggled to get the sewage connection. Guess what? Because I built this rapport with the municipality, they were there to come and assist me, to show me where to connect my place into their sewage systems. So it's all about relationships. It's all about how you communicate with people. And again, I am a registered builder with NHPRC. So quality rules, I make sure that when I build, I don't give the municipality the reason to reject my rezoning. I make sure that I follow everything to the T. And yeah, that's my story.
Okay, no, that's brilliant to hear. Hey, again, congratulations, great deals. Very, very savvy investor indeed.
Yes,
And
thank you so
I'm
much. So
motivated
Colette,
by
any
Robert.
other final views from you, Colette?
Yes, just one thing from me, Miranda. Bob, congratulations. It is amazing how you grew your portfolio from your primary residence to where you are right now. So congratulations on that. Just from a business structure, estate planning point of view, with every single different property that you bought, did you bought it in the same entity, or did you create a different entity for each one, an SPV for each one?
Okay, not really. I think most of my property, they are registered in my business as Dirahome. Most of them, they are registered in one business.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
might be worth your while to look at a company structure. Seeing that you are growing your portfolio, I think you would need to come and make an appointment with us, because it's very important to, have your shareholding, the beneficial ownership in a trust structure, especially if you start going as big as you are, my darling. So I think you would need to start looking at creating a special property vehicle for each new property that you're buying. And you need to start being smart on how you register these properties, because it's beneficial from a financing point of view as well. But it is amazing what you've done so far. And I'm really proud of what you've done. It is such an achievement. But we definitely need to work on your structure.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So,
Okay.
ladies and gents, that was Mrs. Miranda. What we will be doing next week on the same day and time, ladies and gents, we will be announcing whether Mrs. Miranda has made it to round number 2. A special thank you to Mrs. Miranda once more. And our final contestant for this afternoon, ladies and gents, will be Mrs. Mickey. Mrs. Mickey, can you hear us? I know she is doing.
Yes.
She was doing duties, like mother duties. Are you all settled, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to start a screen share on our side. When you need me to go to the next slide, you can just go next. But you're given 15 minutes to go through your presentation, and then we're going to come in for judges' questions.
No problem. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, as I was introduced, my name is Maggie Sohone. My strategy is student accommodation. It's in Free State in the Welkom. It It is under Machabeng municipality. It's a mining town. So I'm a beginner, and my 9 to 5. I'm a compliance officer in the banking industry. So I'm doing all regulatory compliance, doing monitoring of it. So how this the property investment came about was that as being a professional in a corporate South Africa, things happen. So especially in the banking industry, where I was surprised by you can go through to the next slide, please. I'm now summarizing everything. Yes. So I was surprised by getting a section 189, which is notification to restructure or to terminate. So there was a restructure that was happening in the bank. So that time I did not know what to do. It was a shocker. It was a wake-up call for me. But I know I needed to do something because I had a primary residence. I have kids, family. So and then I decided to have something, just to come up with something quick. But I did not really know what is it. So I in my primary residence, I built three bachelor's room just to have income to sustain me. But it was nothing. Nothing serious. It was more like I was on a survival mode. So now going back and then I later then joined Sapin, and that's when now this property investing I started to take it to heart, having to see the yield that came from the three bachelor's flat that I have in my primary res. So I bought a house in a Free State. It is 1.4 square meter house. It's a corner house. That time I did not have the education. It was prior to me joining Sapin. I did not have the education. I could not do my due diligence. The only thing that really caught my eye was the fact that I want to get into student accommodation, and here's the property. It's a corner house, and then there's business around there. So I could see the potential, but I could really not put my finger on it, what exactly it will help. But it was more of a faith thing. Next slide, please. So the house, and then I joined Sapin. So how about the house? I bought it from actually it was advertised on a property 24, but it was advertised by another investor. So that property was actually an auction property. It was dilapidated, run down house. So people they were stealing stuff from it. So I made a deal with that investor. He gave me occupation, while the house they still trying to follow the processes from the sheriff's office. So I got a bond, and then so he treated it as a flip. So the first picture here, it's how the house looked like the first time when I get the occupation of it. And remember that time it was not even registered on my name. I just took a leap of faith, and I wanted to guard the house, wanted to secure this deal, and just get over and try to fast track my property journey. So the second the second picture there, the picture in the middle, that's when we were doing the renovation that were in progress, and that time I was now part of the SAPIN. So, and then from the education that I got from SAPIN, I was told about the space. You cannot have a space that just sitting there without being used, without being utilized. So looking at the picture, there's a picture there where there's bed. So that picture, if we look at it, it's just an open, more like open plan. On the what is it? I didn't want to say the map. The property documents. Yes, it is a pool. It is named as a pool room. So from having that pool room, I thought I could do something about it. So I just fitted the bed and see how it would look like. But I just didn't like the look. It was more like a hostel. There was no privacy and stuff like that. And I also come from disadvantaged background, where I know that having to come and being passionate about education, and then I want to create a atmosphere where you'll be away from home, where you would succeed. It's more like I was more like a bridge trying to close the gap of the student housing that we are currently having in the country. So now it was not really stitching well with me. And then I want to compare it to, maybe you refer it back to the first picture there. If you can see, there's the very same room. It was just open. It's just open like that. And then there's a picture that has a bath on the first the before. Actually, that was supposed to be the before picture when I got the house. So I demolished that bathroom, and instead then I put the showers, knowing that I'm gonna convert it to the student accommodation. So the bath was not really practical, and having to follow the NAFSA's guideline. So now the third picture, where is the very same room where I say I was alluding to earlier, where it was the pool room. It is now I have subdivided it to these single rooms. So when you check the white doors there on the third picture, on the third picture thereafter, so that is the room there. And then from the bathroom to the showers there, and then the final look of after the renovation has been done. So you can see there's also the signage there, is based on the guideline of NAFSAS, where they needed to have the occupational safety, the fire and stuff like that. So I have complied with it. So the next slide, please. So now having to go through that process, taking the risk of occupying the house before the registration, and there was no substantive clauses on the OTP, so everything was there. So it was I was like I was tied to that OTP, and then the house was registered this year in March, right? And then going to the numbers, I purchased that property for about 710, and I got 100% bond. And the reason for 710 was a rundown house, and looking at the house in the area, so I felt like it was a reasonable amount, and also having to negotiate with the seller, because he fixed the electricity. I only did the plumbing and the rest of the renovation. And the renovation cost, it was about 350K. I'm in the process of rezoning. I have started with the process of rezoning, and then the attorney fees. Since I am a bank employee, so I got about 50% on the registration fees from the attorneys that are in the bank's panel. For it's more like a staff benefit. And then the furniture that was 53K. So the furniture, it includes your beds, your microwaves, the fridges and stuff like that. So I would shop around just to get the reasonable ones. Some, they were not like brand new. I would get the demos and stuff like that. So it totaled to 1.158K. So the estimated valuation, since the property, I'm busy with the renovation, I have doubled the valuation of the property. And then coming to the cash flow part. I have applied for NAFSA's accreditation. It hasn't. They have done the inspection and stuff like that. I'm awaiting the certificate, right? And the other disclosure, I haven't been paid since from Feb till now, July 30th July. I haven't been paid. However, how am I been running, operating the place? It has been from my salary. I've been using my salary, and then the family, they were also being supporting. So they acted as the angel finance, but nothing legal, nothing official. It's just that the verbal agreement that happened between us. So I have highlighted about two scenarios here in terms of the cash flow. So the first one, it will be, the accreditation. They do gradings, and then from grade they will give you per grading. So I used the worst of I can get from them. So for the accredited amount, I use grade C, right? Which it pays about grade C. It pays about for single it pays about 3,848 per student on a single, and then 3.4 something for sharing per student or per bit. So and I also made for the calculation for non-accredited, the worst case scenario, if they are not gonna pay me nothing, it's gonna be like 2.5. The calculation was based on the 2.5 for non-accredited, right? So this is how I got to my calculation. So for non-accredited, this was up until July. So I would say, I mean, per month will be about 7,260, and then annually will be 72,000, since the NAFSAS is about 10 months. And then for accredited on a grade C, it will be 21,306, and then per year it will be 213. And then the ROI is dependent on the scenario that I just painted on the amounts there. So for non-accredited will be this, but this is not the final case. So things can be changed. It's nothing can do. Once I get the accreditation in order, then things will be okay. And then this is my ROI for accredited, and I've got about 14 students that are NAFSAS accredited. Thank you.
Okay, and please visit Mickey's accommodation, student accommodation. You'll see the number there in Valco. I think, Mickey, congratulations, right? So almost a baptism by fire on your very first one on the student accommodation, from the zoning till the NAFSAS accreditation to the not getting paid. And it's a lot of things that most people that don't invest in student accommodation don't quite know, the irregular payments that come through with it, and how you are creative on how you get to pay your expenses, because every month bonds must be paid. Hey.
Yes, it does.
Now, congratulations. So I'm going to open the floor first to Colette. Colette, do you have any questions for Mickey?
Just a quick question. You mentioned that you're working for the bank and that you receive discounts. Did you register the property in your personal capacity?
Yes, it is on a personal capacity,
Okay.
and I got a quotation from you. I'm still working on that. Colette gave me quotation for business structure, quotation for was it for the transferring? Yes.
I was wondering if it was this property.
No, you gave me two.
No, awesome. So, yes, Colette, is that your only question?
So obviously I understand that you got this property before you joined SAPN, and you weren't really you don't know what you don't know until you know what you know.
That's correct.
And that's the power of education, and that's the power of SAPN and their partners. But obviously, when you bought the property from auction, correct?
Yes.
Did you do any type of due diligence at the time?
Nothing. No due
Okay.
diligence, nothing.
And maybe just following on to that, what would you do differently for anyone that is looking to do student accommodation, watching this? What if you could go back in time and advise your younger, more naive self? What's one advice you'd give them? What would you do differently?
I think it's to get the accreditation. It's a serious problem. Is to get the accreditation first, and then from getting the accreditation, then is as you get the student, because there's you get those students that are clever, they will always run away and stuff like that. And then from there it will be in terms of acquiring the property. So I would make sure that there's substantive clauses, the exit strategies, the funding. You are more financially you are more prepared, because now this non-payment or delays in payment, it's a serious issue. So it's some of the things that one has to be prepared when you go into that business. It's not an overnight business, as much as the numbers speaks wonders as compared to traditional letting. But there are issues there, and also the maintenance. It's a serious issue. Yeah.
Just one more question that I just wanted to find out from a sheriff registration point of view. What was the rates and taxes that you had to pay for this property?
No. Remember, this property was bought by another investor from the auction. I bought from he
Okay.
flipped it to me, but he paid. They gave from the municipality the written tax. They gave him about 40% thingy. Remember, it was either 40% or 2 years of that. So but he ended up paying 40% from it.
Okay, no, that's not so bad.
Okay.
No, awesome. And then Sam, do you have any questions?
I do. Apologies there. My Wi-Fi did drop for a bit, so I'm not sure if maybe Dan or Colette had asked this question, but I just wanted to find out from a structuring point of view.
Oh gosh.
Are we losing him?
Yeah, no, apologies for that. So we'll give
Probably
it.
discuss this.
Yeah, but I think the question.
Companies getting your structures important.
Sam, we did miss a bit there.
Do you mind repeating, Sam?
Am I back on now, or am I still off? Okay. No, I was saying from a structuring point of view, because I do understand that typically with banks, if you are employed by them, the staff discounts are typically in your personal name. So
we
in
discussed
your
that.
case, you did discuss that. Okay, then that's perfectly fine. That was the only question I had.
We're on the same wave level.
Yes, but Sam, just to give you comfort, yes, I have been in communication with Colette. She is busy. She gave me the quotation, so I just have to go and sort it out with them.
Okay, no, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yes.
No, awesome. Thank you so much, Mickey, for your time. That what a beautiful session we from starting out to some inspiring stuff from Pelele, as well as from Uganda, with Mickey and her presentation. So, ladies and gents, what we'll do is Sam, people.
Okay, so you can find me at Bruno Samao Attorneys. If you want to give me send me an email, it will be colette@brunosamaolaw.co.za, and you can reach out to me via the office. Thank you.
final judge. Sam, thank you so much for your finance.
100% thanks for having me again, Daniel. And I'm hoping that the internet is fine now. But if anyone does want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on sam@sapropertynetwork.com. Whether you're looking for to get finance or to get pre-qualified, I'm readily available and more than happy to assist. Thanks a bunch.
Alrighty. I see Dan is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think this network
Thank
is
you so
giving
much,
me
Mikey.
problems.
I really appreciate you coming in, and yes, congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. I'm not sure my network cut. Sam, is the stream ended your side?
I think we are still.
This is horrible. Sam, can you hear me?
I'm here. I can hear.